Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and we're going to talk about being a dungeon master and making absolutely brutal cuts to your list of non-player characters and how to run a better, tighter narrative, okay? Alright, so first of all, we're going to talk about Dune. We're going to learn these lessons from Dune 2021, Denis Villeneuve's brand new film. Spoilers for Denis Villeneuve's 2021 Dune. All right, so I'm a huge Dune head. Really love the book Dune. Okay, I've never read any of the other books because I didn't hear they were that great, and so I've only read Dune. But Dune is it's top three, sort of my top three American sci-fi books. I absolutely love it, and it really moved me. I was incredibly impacted by Dune. Right. And so I've also seen the 1980s film, and I watched the 2021 Denis Villeneuve film, and I was very excited about it, and it delivered. I saw it at first on IMAX, and absolutely blown away. 5 out of 5 star movie. I absolutely loved it. And then I have HBO Max, which I get for free through my phone service, which is kind of crazy, but it's nice to have. And so I watched Dune twice more on HBO Max for nothing, because I get HBO Max for free. And every time I watch it, it gets better. It is honestly, I think it's by far the best version of Dune that's ever existed on film. It was incredible. All right. Now the only problem though is it did horrifically bad at the box office in America, and honestly it was catastrophic. You want to know how bad it was? Halloween Kills, it's a joke of a movie. What is Halloween Kills? Is it like Halloween 14, 15, 16? Most people couldn't even tell you, right? Like, it's just, I watched it. It was just terrible film, right? It's a throwaway horror film from Blumhouse. Just absolute trash film in my opinion. Okay. And I actually like horror, right? But like that was not a good movie. Halloween Kills outperformed Dune week 1 for both films by $7 million. Halloween Kills had a $47 million opening. Dune had a $41 million opening in America. That is just terrible. Dune did horrible at the box office, and just absolutely horrible. Right now, I know it's already cleared for a second movie. So there's really no question. Denis Villeneuve had to deliver even more than he delivered, right? So how could you have made Dune even better, right? How could you have made the movie better? Now, first of all, even going here is brutally difficult because Denis Villeneuve has already delivered the best Dune film ever created. There's no comparison. It defeats every series. It defeats every film. It's the best Dune, big or small screen project ever created, bar none. Okay, so how do you make it better? Well, here's the tough decision that would have had to been made. I think that you had to cut Gurney. One thing you could do. This is just one of the things you could have done. Right? You would have to decide to cut Gurney Halleck or Duncan Idaho. Why? They're doing the same thing in the film. They're both hyper-competent soldiers who are loyal to Duke Atreides, and they both have goodwill and are protective and have generally a good relationship with Paul Atreides. They're so similar, there's no reason to have them both in the film. Right? Now, I love Dune. I love Gurney Halleck. He's a great character, right? But the reality is, I would have nixed Gurney Halleck and kept in Duncan Idaho and just gotten rid of Gurney Halleck. Now, why would you do that, right? Like, he's such a great character. Time. You don't have time, right? And I am encouraging all Dungeon Masters to run 2-hour games, not 4-hour games. I think it's one of the biggest hurdles to getting people to play Dungeons & Dragons. The only people who understand 4-hour games are people from the 80s. Today, you tell anybody we're doing this for 4 hours, you're going to get a hard no. It usually doesn't matter much what it is, what you're going to ask them. Like, people want to do anything for 4 hours. 2 hours is great because it's a traditional movie length, right? So if you did this, you would just make a tighter, more cohesive narrative, right? We as dungeon masters have to be able to make these critically difficult, brutal cuts, right? So when you go to your non-player character list and you look, and what you want to look at is, are these player characters? Do you have two player characters? Do you have two non-player characters? Do you have two non-player characters who are serving the same role, accomplishing the same thing, right? If you do, you should get rid of one, right? Give the other more screen time, and you're like, well, this other one has some attributes that I want. But the reality is, I'm convinced, especially nowadays, right? Curation is the best, most powerful thing there is. There's lots of good content. And if you're going to make your game really shine, right, you really need to be brutal when it comes to the cuts and the decisions you make to really deliver and make your game really distinct and better than other dungeon masters that you're, 5th edition dungeon masters that you're competing with. I would have cut Gurney Halleck. What do you think? Would you have cut Duncan Idaho instead? Or you're like, no, you can't cut anybody, and we need a 4-hour game. Right? If that's the case, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. But I really think, it would have been brutally difficult, I think, for Denis Villeneuve to look at these characters and go, yeah, I got to cut one of these guys, right? But it would have made a better film. It really would have. And it is a great film, but that's one of the other things is today, good ain't good enough. You really need to be spot on. You really got to be able to deliver something special because the competition is so high. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.